that I saw a light shine. I thought I saw a light shine. Yes, I thought that I saw a light shine. I think I see a light shine now.
How many of you did not hear one word I said? Would you wave? Excellent. Thank you. Okay, so Tamara. Seems to...
Hi.
Hi, honey.
How are you?
Well, I can honestly, at any time, just shoot from the hip and tell the truth, which is this: I am as well as I can possibly be, How am I depends on what I'm thinking and believing. And there was nothing there, so I'm fine. I'm as well as I can be.
Great.
Oh.
This is the first time that I'm doing the work.
Oh,
I've done
honey.
it in my head. I've done it writing down, but I'm barefooted, so I'm really excited.
Okay, so you have a worksheet?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and where are you coming from?
I'm from Israel.
You're in Israel. How is Israel?
Well, as you were saying, it's all in our head, but things are complicated in our head.
Mm-hmm. It's the only place we can talk from, and it's more like experiencing our true nature. And when there is a disruption between the mind and the heart, like he this, she that, no. There's a break. And so when that's taken care of, which a worksheet's really good for that, we can talk out of the world we see as Earth, but we don't lose connection because we're in sync with ourselves. I think what I just said was rather clumsy. I'd like to do better, and that's the best I can do for right now because I really want to get into your worksheet. But okay. Let's hear what you've written. Read number 1.
The funny thing is that the situation I wanted to talk about deals with something that happened during a demonstration that me and my partner went to. So the demonstration is actually resembles, or it's a metaphor of these disconnections that you're talking about. So
yeah. What were you demonstrating?
Against the government.
Against the government. Okay. Yeah. And what did you write for number 1?
I'm angry with Noam because he didn't pay attention to me or to my needs, because he left me alone.
Okay. And who is Noam in your life?
Noam is my partner.
Oh, he was with you at the demonstration.
Yes. Well, okay. Yes. We were planning to go together, but then we came separately.
Okay. So what is the situation where he didn't pay attention to your needs?
Well, he was there already, and he didn't wait for me because I was running late.
Okay.
So he drove alone, and I went alone in my car, and things didn't go quite as I planned. There was traffic.
Here's what I'm getting to, Tamara. Here's what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't pay attention to me or my needs. So now we know he left you, and you had to go separately. Mm-hmm. And the situation that you're writing the worksheet out of is, are you on your way there? Is it when you found out he left you? What is the situation you wrote your worksheet?
A little bit further on. I finally saw where he was. I tried to grab his attention and I couldn't. I crossed the busy road and there was lots of traffic and people yelling at me. And as I approached him, I was a little bit shaken. He sort of greeted me, you know, a brief greeting, I guess, and then went away, and he was with his son there, and so I was sort of left alone, and that's where I felt.
So that's the situation.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, honey. Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
So in that situation, you found him in the crowd, and really he was dismissive.
Yeah.
He just didn't pay any attention to you. He was there with his son.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he didn't pay attention to your needs. That's what I heard. He didn't pay attention to me or my needs.
Yeah.
So he didn't pay attention to your needs. Is it true? So now just meditating there, watching him with his son, he sees you.
Yes, it's true.
He's not, okay. So how do you react? What happens in your world? What happens when you believe the thought, he didn't pay attention to me or my needs?
The feeling is that something closes inside of me. I sort of feel restricted or, sort of restricted. I can't open to the word.
So your chest gets tight. You had your hands on like your upper chest. It gets tight.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Close your eyes. Be there now. Emotionally, what happened when you had the thought, he didn't pay attention to me or my needs?
I try to not to get too emotional about it so that I don't start crying or anything.
You try, and I'm asking.
And then I sort of divert myself to speaking to somebody else.
So physically, emotionally.
Just can't hear you. Just a minute.
Hmm.
Don't know what happened.
So physically, emotionally, what happened inside of you and where? Tension in your chest or upper chest. You tried not to be upset, but it's burning. Where else? Your throat?
It starts in my chest and it goes up to my throat.
Good. So just
I feel restricted. I feel I can't talk. I can't express myself.
Okay. Now, anything, does it travel to your arms, your belly, your legs? I so want you to get in touch with that emotional, with how it feels physically. How much of your body is involved when you think the thought, he didn't pay attention to me or my needs. So just feel it. You can't do it then. We try to avoid it. We try to stop it. But I want you to face it head on. Allow those feelings to live themselves out. They have a right to life. We're always at war, it seems.
I feel frozen or paralyzed somehow.
So now just be with it. Just be with it now, as you could not be with it then. I want you to experience what you fight. Just allow it. And other than what you're thinking and believing, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I just feel very much alone.
Who would you be without the thought? He
That I'm
didn't pay
alone.
attention to me or my needs.
Self-contained, I guess.
No, don't guess. Don't guess. This is you with you. This is
Who would I be without the thought that he's not paying attention to my needs? Released, satisfied, self-contained, at peace.
yeah. They're in a crowd of people and alone without a partner. At peace. In touch with your emotions. Other than what you're thinking and believing, now look at the people. Close your eyes and look at the people. And he's a people. His son is a people. Look all around without the thought. He didn't pay attention to me or my needs. Now get in touch with why you're there. It is to protest. And it gives you an opportunity to really look at, were you there to protest or were you there for other reasons?
I was there to communicate. I was there to express myself. I was there to be myself.
So he's leaving you to do that.
Yes, without the thought, yes.
And your focus is where you want it. He didn't pay attention to me or my needs. Turned around, I didn't.
I didn't pay attention to myself and to my needs.
Yeah, well, you were using him for that or attempting to. I didn't pay in that situation. I didn't pay attention to me or my needs. This is a
So it's as if
big,
I neglected myself.
again.
I neglected myself when I was
Yes.
relying.
Yeah, and then he takes the rap for that. You blame him for your emotions.
Yes, I do.
He didn't pay attention to me or my needs. I didn't pay attention to
Him.
or his needs.
I didn't pay attention to his needs, that's true.
Yeah.
His need was to be with his son, who was much younger than everybody else in the crowd. And
Yes.
so he wanted to be with him, make him feel comfortable. That's true.
So now just close your eyes and look at him with his son. Pay attention to him and his needs. Drop the I, me. It's all about me. Pay attention to him and get in touch with his needs. What did you see?
I could see myself there with my children. And then I could see him with his children. So that was the same picture exactly. And I could feel my heart expand.
Everyone there to protest, to do what they came for, and to do it in their own way. Protest is protest.
Mhm.
You were protesting for the wrong cause. Okay, Precious, let's look at number 2 on your worksheet. I want
Noam to pay attention to me when we're in a crowd, even when I'm upset. I want him to validate my feelings, to consider my needs, to support me.
Okay. Now you are more enlightened than when you wrote this. You want him to pay attention to you when you're in that crowd. Is it true? After what you've seen here today.
Somehow I don't want to be his first priority. I want him to pay attention.
No,
to
let's just go back to it's a yes or no.
Mhm.
With what you've seen, you want him to pay attention to you. Is it true?
Yes, it's still true.
Okay. And how do you react? What happens when you believe the thought? I want him to pay attention to me.
It somehow feels quite selfish. Like I don't deserve it.
And now continue to look at him with your son. With his son, who would you be without the thought, I want him to pay attention to me?
I just can see myself very liberated to walk around and not feel
And
paralyzed somehow.
yeah, and look how he is with his son.
Yeah, and I can see his bond with his son, and that makes him happy.
Yeah. Spoken like an authentic partner.
Mm-hmm.
I want him to pay attention to me. You're free. He's free. You get to see him on his own without you and how he is with his son. How would you turn that around? I want him to pay attention to me when we are in a crowd. While we are in this crowd.
It's either I want to pay attention to him when we're in a crowd.
Yeah, so I think you're getting a clearer view of who he is and how he is.
Mm-hmm.
Can you find another turnaround? I don't want. I want him to pay attention to me when we're in that crowd. I don't want him to pay.
That's That's a difficult one for me. I don't want him to pay attention to me when we're in a crowd.
Don't want him to pay attention to me in that crowd.
Yeah.
Okay, so try it on. Close your eyes. I don't want him to pay attention to me when I'm in that crowd. We just try on these turnarounds. They open us up to something in us that we miss.
There's still something there that wants for him to pay attention to me. So
Well, just notice, and continue to meditate in the turnaround. I have an example. Would you like to hear it?
yes, please.
I don't want him to pay attention to me in that crowd. It gives me opportunity to really see him and what he's like without me, and what he's like with his son, and how he is with people. It gives me a chance to see him, to really see him.
Yes, I can see that.
So I want him to validate my feelings, to consider my needs, and to support me in that situation. Is it true? So be there now, watch him with his son, look at the crowd. I want him to validate my feelings, to support my needs, and to support me. Is it true?
It's a funny thing because
It's a yes or no.
it would support me to see him. So now that's what I'm thinking. My needs are also to see him in a different light.
So just move into what is true as you contemplate what you've just seen, and continue to. I want him to validate my feelings, to consider my needs, to support me. Is it true?
No. No, not in that situation. No.
Yeah. And that's all we're talking about, just that situation.
Mhm.
Now witness with your eyes closed. What happened when you believed the thought?
Yeah. It's like a heavy weight has been taken off.
You fall apart. Those emotions you described to us. And the hurt you feel. And the isolation is. So again, now look at you without the thought. Look at him and experience you without the thought. I want him to validate my feelings, to consider my needs, and to support me.
Mm-hmm. There's a sense of connection.
Yes.
It's a connection between me and him and between me and the crowd.
Yeah. And turned around. I don't want him to validate my feelings or to consider my needs or to support me in that situation. Try that on.
It's as if a tree is growing in me. That's what I
Yes,
see.
honey.
I
Yeah.
see a tree trunk growing in me.
You're growing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we don't grow up of age and body size. Emotionally is where we grow up. We become selfless. The more inquiry we do, the safer we are in this world. We're beyond, at some point, the pain we're so used to, the hurt we're so used to. There's another turnaround. I want me to validate his feelings. I want me to consider his needs and to support him in this thing he so obviously wants.
Mhm. Yes, I can definitely see myself growing from a child to a mother. It's like,
Yeah. And a partner, an authentic, someone who loves their partner. And they don't have to get anything back from their partner. You just love your partner.
it's like that tree again, you know, it doesn't need
Yeah.
anything back. It's just there.
So now here's another beautiful jump. I want me to validate my feelings and to consider my needs and to support me.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's like the glass is full somehow, you know.
Everything you wanted him to give you, you can give you. And there it is. And love is that power.
Mhm.
And understanding for me is another word for love.
So that feeling that I rely on him is always so, there's never enough, you know?
There can never be enough. You're wanting something that no one can give you. But
Always
you can give you what you need, and you can give it to others. I want me to validate his feelings, to consider his needs, and to support him. And that's simply a silent experience. And you've given everything you wanted. To give it to him is to give it to yourself. As you show us so clearly. So your living turnarounds are, your living turnarounds on number 2 are, I want me to pay attention to me when I'm in a crowd with him, and to validate my feelings and to consider my needs and to support me when I feel it's not there. You have it on a scale from 1 to 10, a 10. It's all there. And then when people give it, it's just that fills the definition of abundance. It's like over the top. It's like my cup spilleth over at all times when we're awake. Okay, precious, let's look at 3. Let's look at advice to him. He should, he shouldn't in that situation.
Noam should see me. Noam should show me he cares. Appreciate me and my presence. He should apologize to me for not taking time to be with me. He shouldn't leave me alone. He shouldn't invalidate my vulnerability. He shouldn't assume I'll be just fine without him. He should put me higher up in his priorities.
Okay, now there is the man that doesn't want to hurt you, can't even tell you what he wants, doesn't want to hurt your feelings. He's there with his son. I should see him. Read it that way. The best advice to myself in that situation is I should
show him I care. I should appreciate him, his presence with his son.
And one way we can show him that we care is just to step back.
Without a grudge, though.
There's no grudge. We're giving. We're not asleep. We're awake. How to support the person we love, the people we love. The other way, he has 2 children. He has you and his son. Okay, so the best advice to myself in that situation is I need to continue.
Well,
I should. I'm sorry, I should.
I should put him higher in my priorities.
Yes, because that's how to serve you.
Yeah. I should let him take time to be with his son. I should consider his needs. I should validate my vulnerability.
I should validate his vulnerabilities. He doesn't want to hurt either one of you.
No, he doesn't. Not at all.
I'm not guessing. I got that from you.
No.
Was there any more advice there?
There was, you shouldn't assume I'll be just fine without him. I'm trying to see if I should assume I'll be just fine without him.
Because you are. You've seen that.
Because I am.
Yeah, we've witnessed you. Other than what you were thinking and believing,
Yeah,
you were there with hurt feelings and a cold heart, not on purpose. It's the ego at work. You're a believer. That is the life of a believer. We're always hurt. We're always wronged. But when we turn that around, life starts to open up and it's unlimited in its service to ourselves and others. It's just a way of life. I think what's so important here is how innocent you are. the ego just pours it in, and that's your identity and gives you his identity, and you're hurt and alone and oh, hell. So turned around again in that situation, advice to myself is also, I should see me and show me that I care and appreciate me and my presence with him when I can see so clearly a way of serving him that serves me. Because there could be someone in that crowd. You don't even see the crowd when you're in I want, I need, he should. You don't even see the crowd and the people there and their courage. And maybe someone falls, you can pick them up. He has freed you up to be in that protest, consciously. And continue. Advice to myself in that situation.
Well, the next one was, well, he should apologize to me for not taking time to be with me.
So I should apologize to me.
To me. Wow.
For not such an obvious opportunity to be with me. We live our life like dictators, and when we don't get our way, we're hurt and wronged. And it's when our eyes are opened, it's the extreme opposite. That's why I refer to this world as a friendly universe. It shows me how to love by nature. It's the end of war. And life we could say, on a planet, and I would question that, on a planet that is beautiful and loving and perfect. And that's all coming out of me. And the world serves that as Earth School. I want to put me higher up on my priorities. He's not available. It's not his job. And I shouldn't assume that I won't be fine without him. Your words on this worksheet, all of you witnessing this, your words on this worksheet, when you move them from your head to paper, the thoughts you're thinking in any hurtful situation, identify later, as our teacher has done today. Identify, collect what you were thinking then and move it to paper now. And question what you're thinking and believing and turn them around. And sweetheart, let's look at 4. Let's look at what you need to be happy in that situation. For me to be happy in that situation, I need him to, or I need
him to show me he's happy I came, offer his help when I need it. I need him to want to be with me even when other family members are around. I need him to ask if I'm okay.
You need him to show you that he is happy that you came.
Yeah.
Is it true?
Yes, I feel it's true.
And how do you react? What happens when you believe the thought that you need him to show you that he is happy that you came?
Well, again, my feelings depend on his happiness or his ability to show me his happiness.
So you become dependent
I become dependent
and hurt.
and hurt when I don't get enough. Yeah. When he
Yeah,
doesn't
and
show
get in touch with your emotions, how you react. When you believe the thought, for you to be happy, you need him to show you that he is happy you came.
Mm. Mm.
What, frightened, alone?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, look at the range. You know, we're meditating in a moment in time. And the thing is to get in touch with your beautiful self. No other human being can. Get in touch with yourself. Only you can do that.
It makes me very small.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
very small. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like standing there as a throwaway. And who would you be without the thought for you to be happy that you need him to show you how happy he is that you came?
Be happy just by being there. Be happy. I'm not restrained to anything.
Yeah.
I'm not tied to anything. I can be happy no matter what.
Yes.
State
The whole world is there.
Yeah, that's it. There's a state of happiness.
Yeah. Oh, we it's like there could be a crowd of 5,000 and you can't even see. You're blind with hurt. And there's a reason for that. How you react when you believe the thought, you see images of you in the past and you in the future, you in the past where the hurt, and you in the future where it's going to just continue.
It's like when I believe the thought, then there's the keyhole, and I've got to find the key to open that keyhole. And I never know if it'll fit or not. And without the thought, the doors are just open.
Yes.
It is just open.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like the universe unfolding for you. God, sometimes I am so positive, even though it ends in a question mark, that I am the happiest person in the world. That is entirely arrogant And it opens from there to, it's this unlimited beyond of physical experience. It's nothing more than the absence of suffering. There's no trick to it. It is just life in inquiry. I need me to show him, turn it around.
So I need me to show him that I'm happy that I came, or that happy that he's there.
Mm-hmm. And I need me to offer my help when he needs it.
Yeah.
I'm reading from her words, those of you. And for me to be happy, I need to want. Let's see, how did you write that? I need me to want to be with me, even with others around, even with him around in the crowd. These turnarounds for 2, 3, and 4 on the Judge and Neighbor worksheet, those of you knew there are 6 questions on the Judge and Neighbor worksheet. And you just answer those questions, and that's what we're working with here. For me to be happy, I need me to show me I'm happy I came. Read the whole thing that way. And I need me.
Yeah, in order for me to be happy, I need me to show myself that I'm happy that I came.
Yeah. To the protest.
Yeah.
And offer my.
I wasn't protesting. I was, it was just me standing there. There was no meaning.
Yeah. Yes. Just self-involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
The world disappears and I, me.
Yeah. I wasn't protesting
Yeah.
or giving anything to the world. So obviously there's no meaning for my being there.
Yeah.
And I need to ask him if he's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last one.
Mm-hmm. So let's look at 5.
Well, so Noam is cold, selfish, indifferent, rigid, unable to contain my sensitivity. Oh, it sounds awful now. But
and it's what we're thinking and believing in that situation. And look how you've grown. And we grow in consciousness. So in that situation, I was cold.
I was selfish. I was indifferent. Yes, to his needs, I guess, yeah. I was rigid. I was unable to contain my sensitivity. Yes, that's true.
So now let's try on other turnarounds. In that situation, what is the opposite of cold?
Loving, I guess. Giving.
Warm.
Warm, obviously.
So in that situation, he was warm. So try that on. Can you find an example? He's there with his son. He doesn't want to hurt you. The reason I can go there so easily is he couldn't even tell you beforehand.
Yeah.
And considering all of that, he was warm. And see if you can find an example.
In that situation?
Yes.
He was warm.
not
he was-
wanting to hurt you,
He was very warm with his son. And that was for me
with
to
his
see.
son. Now get really still. He was very warm with his son. Now see if you can find just one glimpse of where he was warm with you, even though he wanted to be with his son.
Yes. Yes. I could suddenly see the way he was uncomfortable about it. And that's so genuine. That is so I could just see the way he looked at me. It's like, you know, that's the way it is. And I guess, yeah, I don't want to hurt you.
So he was selfish, turned around. He was generous.
I can see now he kept going back and forth. He kept coming back to me. I mean,
Oh, honey.
forgot about that.
Well, the ego won't allow that in. But once you're open, you can see now what you saw then that you can't see as a believer. The ego's life.
This is terrible because I remember he kissed me when I came now. I can vividly remember that. And he took a picture of me with a sign.
He was warm. He was generous. He was unable to contain his sensitivity. He kissed you. He took a picture of you. Where all suffering comes from in that situation is the inability to see what is in front of our face. We believe over it. And these images of past, future, it's all that breaks up relationships. We're asleep to the dream that overrides reality. So let's, sweetheart, look at 6.
I don't ever want to feel alone, have me or my needs ignored, to feel rejected, unprotected, or unappreciated when I'm around him.
Okay. So you felt alone. Were you alone?
No, I wasn't alone.
No, crowds of people. He was there. His son was there. Were you ignored?
No.
Did he reject you?
No.
Were you unprotected?
No, I wasn't unprotected.
Were you unappreciated when you were around him?
No.
So I am willing to feel and read the words.
So I'm willing to feel alone. and have my needs ignored and feel rejected and unprotected or unappreciated when I'm around him.
Yes. And I look forward to feeling alone. Being ignored, feeling rejected, unprotected, unappreciated when I'm around him. Because you can see that you were suffering from delusional thinking, egoic, the ego, the dream overrode reality. So I look forward to feeling all of this again because it shows me my next worksheet. And then you think, oh my gosh, this is the most wonderful world. I understand now. And then boom, your next Earth School lesson happens and it's another worksheet. And then when you think you cannot be any happier and nothing could ever touch it, boom, the next worksheet, the next illusion, the ego's next trip. And it's the people in this world, like this beautiful man in your life, the people in this world, those are the teachers that give us the worksheet. Because we judge them, we do our work, and we start over. You know, people are never who we believe them to be. When Stephen walks in the room each morning, I'm a very early riser. He gets up a little later than I do. And I hear his footsteps coming toward me, you know, and I can't see him yet. And so I don't know who it is or what it is. So my life is lived like a surprise. And then he comes in and I see his face and his body, and it's too good to be true. It's like he is someone I've never seen before. All I know is my heart sings, and it's not personal. It's a way of seeing life and who and what we really are out of eyes that are no longer blind. Sweetheart, you have you are so beautiful, so lovely. And thank you for being our teacher today. And thank that boyfriend, the master that gave you and gave you us. Okay, dears. Oh my gosh. Oh, don't you love him? Don't you love her? Don't you love them? Don't you? Okay, so Thursday is the day where we meet together in, I think, an hour and a half or so. It's we'll meet at, I don't see the time up there, it is, at 11:30 Pacific time, and we're going to do the work. We're going to have some fun and hands-on, and really going deeper, close up and personal. And I don't know, we may work on, I'll have a plan that, I'm thinking, should we work on prejudice? Should we do the work on most ashamed? What should we do? Well, tune in, find out, and mwah, be well. Be well because you are.